everyone, James here from TDB, bringing you another Inbetweenisode. Today going to be talking about some Wuyi rock tea, but it's not a Wuyi rock tea that I bought. In fact, it's a Wuyi rock tea that I got for free. There is a Facebook group that some of you might be familiar with called Buy Nothing. They tend to focus on neighborhoods and stuff like that. Anyways, my wife and I are fairly active in our group here in Seattle, both in terms of giving stuff away as well as just like looking on just to get items that might be interesting and people might be giving away. So basically it's kind of just like an exchange where people don't spend money. It's just, I'm going to give away this. I'm interested in that. For the most part, we don't focus on anything tea related, but something came up and my wife was the first to see it and she pointed it out and I agreed that it looked interesting, and it was indeed some tea. And so what drew me to this, going to talk a little bit about what would signify, because the vast majority of tea that gets circulated kind of in the US and stuff like that is definitely of very, very little to no interest of me, for me. So things that are just commonly available like tea bags, stuff like that. But this one, first of all, it's very clearly not marketed towards Westerners. It's called Xingjiu rock tea. So this is a Wuyi Oolong tea. If you called something rock tea here in the U.S., most people would definitely not know what you're going for. So it's clearly marketed towards an audience in the East. Doing a quick Google search too, I came up with one kind of very ambiguous Singapore search result for, I think, a tea made by these same people perhaps, but also it looked like the packaging was a little different. And so the other thing is just like the packaging is very kind of standardized. It says here 2017, which for me is good because I tend to like my rock tea when it has just, a few years of age under it as well. And so clearly marketed towards a more Eastern audience and with some interesting packaging that is very much kind of like rock tea standard. So coming in these little boxes, and in those boxes you have these little packets, which I think have about 12 grams of leaf. Yeah, that's right. And so I think the reason why stuff is packaged in these is like compared to a tin or something like that, this is much more lightweight, so cheaper, easier to ship, that sort of thing. But it also helps to really protect the leaves. And something like Wuyi rock tea really does benefit from that protection. So I do think there's a reason why kind of this standard is a way that you see this just far more commonly for this sorts of tea rather than like rolled Taiwanese oolong, which kind of by its nature is a little bit more compact. So the packaging too caught my eye just in the sense that it seems like kind of, a little bit nice. Coming into this tea, I didn't have great expectations or anything like that. And I've brewed it once before. And so I will be doing it the second time here. Already made steep number 2 here. So it brews this really nice dark color. I'll show it in the Gongdao Bay after I do this next steep. One thing when I'm testing out new rock tea too is, for me at least, I like to really use a lot of leaf for the rock tea. I think even when it comes to somewhat mediocre or just okay rock tea, if I'm going to enjoy it, I really do like it more when it's amped up. And especially if it's on like the roastier end, and that can really bring out that kind of like minerally rocky taste to it. And for me at least, the fact that I can even get just a little bit of those flavors and the like medium to heavy roastiness too is definitely a big win for this tea. I'd imagine this tea was quite roasty, especially when it was fresh in 2017, 2018 range. Because the roast is still quite prominent. It has kind of like this nice creaminess to it. I'm using, I think, 5.8 grams for a 70 milliliter gaiwan, so pretty heavy leaf to water ratio here. The leaves themselves were nice and protected from that good packaging there. It's one of those things where probably the integrity of the leaves matters more just in terms of the packaging rather than the picking standards in this case. So yeah, it's bringing this nice dark deep red color, and for me at least, I tend to like rock tea when it's that color, and I also tend to prefer the medium to heavier roasted stuff. So in that sense, this tea is definitely a hit. Is this the best rock tea I've ever had? Absolutely not. I mean, it's fine. It's a decent tea. But for something free that I picked up in the US, it's very, very good. Which, might not be the highest bar to hold a tea to, but I'm quite enjoying it. And I have about think 3 more of those packs of 12, so 36 grams. I will have no problem drinking that. So to find a tea for free here in just my local neighborhood is quite surprising. And I have no idea of the story behind the tea. They were giving away a couple other different teas, none of which were interesting at all to me. Kind of more of your garden variety such teas, maybe a step up above like tea bags or Lipton and that sort of thing. But nothing too crazy. So nice mineralness to this, just a nice substance to it, nice texture, a little bit of tartness and sourness too. I think that's maybe because I let it sit for just a hot second there. So yeah, here we go, steep number 3. Yeah, and so is this tea as good as Wuyi Origin? Not really. No, I would say not. Is it better than Sea Dyke? I think I want to say yes. So it sort of lands in that zone that's like pretty decent. Certainly good sort of workman-like drink that I can have while I'm working and not think too hard about it, especially because it was free. But it's not something that I'm going to be scouring the internet for either. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I think that just about concludes this episode. Let me know if you've ever gotten free tea, if it was any good. What's the best sort of free tea that you've gotten kind of very haphazardly like I have here? For me, at least, this is definitely probably one of the best ones I've had that I've acquired stateside. You get all kinds of fun free stuff when you are abroad and traveling, and people want to treat you sometimes. So that stuff is a little bit different. So I put that a little bit outside of this category. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. Hit that like button as well. I will see you all next time. Cheers.